Falling in love with the wrong person can be very toxic and distracting to you, especially as a young Christian. Prisma loved God so much, was very zealous about the things of God, and she was practically on fire. But as hot as her fire was, so was her shape and beauty. Prisma was the envy of many ladies and the crush of all the brothers. One thing that saved her most of the time from entering into a wrong relationship was a particular prayer she always made that God swiftly answered most of the times. It was the prayer of, "Lord, if he's not the one, take him out of my life completely," or, "Father, let your will be done." Every time she said this prayer over someone new she liked, immediately something will happen which will make her disconnect from them totally, pointing to the fact that they were not the one. But what would happen if Prisma meets someone that is wrong for her and she is fully aware but not willing to let go? Although she loved the Lord wholeheartedly, she craved for the love of a partner who would spend the rest of her life with her. God always assured her of bringing the right man when the time was right. But it seems to her the time was running out, and Prisma kept meeting eligible bachelors whom the Lord kept disapproving. A time came when she met a guy who met her physical, psychological, family, financial, and emotional standards, but not necessarily the spiritual standards. He was a baby Christian, lacked priesthood, and did some things that weren't good for the spiritual well-being of Prisma. She had a pastoral call on her head, and she needed a man who was also on fire for God and ready to help her become her destiny while she also supported him. But this guy was not wired for all that. This was the greatest and most obvious difference between them. But unfortunately, through his looks, his words, his character, and actions, he effortlessly won the heart of Prisma. She fell helplessly in love with him, and it became her snare. She sought the face of God about him, but God disapproved of him. Even with that, she kept talking to him, enjoying his company, and spending time with him every day and night. They became so inseparable, and it started affecting her relationship with God. She spent most of her free time with him and no longer with God as she used to. She thought of him around the clock every day and never thought about the will of God as she always did. She started developing new behaviors and habits she never had, and it was all because of him. He wasn't doing anything negative towards her. In fact, he was a very loving, caring, and gentle guy, and he had good intentions towards her. But his presence in her life made her drift farther away from God rather than bringing her closer to God. Prisma always felt the emptiness and the need to revive her fellowship with God. But every time she made a decision to do so, she would end up whiling away her time with this young man. She prayed that same prayer every time, but for some reasons, the young man was very connected to her, and deep down, she never truly wanted him to go. Time went by, and her emptiness grew stronger. She felt depressed every time after she had spoken with him. She started crying to God for mercy, to help her not make a wrong choice because of her emotions and impatience to wait for the right one. Sometimes, it's not that you're not aware about someone being wrong for you, but you just keep staying connected with them because they make you feel a certain way you love that even the right people sometimes can't make you feel, making you settle for less. Don't let your emotions make you choose the wrong person. Marriage It's a journey that should be done with the right person so you can fulfill your God-given purpose. Allow God lead you to the right person at the right time and trust Him to give you His best.